besties, welcome or welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be going over all of the books that I hope to read in January. If you've been keeping up with me, I have really been in my fantasy swing for the past couple of weeks, and that really came to a head over the course of Christmas, where I really realized I am not in the mood for a little fluffy romance. I literally need something set not on Earth. So I've been reading a ton of fantasy. First of all, shout out to my Instagram. They're the ones that helped me pick out a couple of books off of my TBR. So I posted 4 stories on my Instagram where I posted 2 books with the poll, and I let just the Instagram people pick what books they wanted me to read for this month. And we had a couple of good ones. So first we're gonna go over everything. I had 3 categories that I did. I did 1 romance category, I did fantasy twice, and then I did thriller once, just because I wanted to kind of see how some of these books would stack up against each other. So the first 2 we have in this stack is romance. We have Daydream by Hannah Grace, and then we have Magnolia Park's Into the Dark. Daydream is the 3rd book in the Maple Hills series by Hannah Grace. The first one was Icebreaker, and then we had Wildfire, and now Daydream. Daydream was kind of the people were wanting the MMC from this book. His name is Henry. We've been vying for his book for so long, and we finally got it. It came out earlier this year. I was really sad I didn't get an ARC for it, but then I didn't end up reading it anytime soon anyways, so that would have been a waste. So good job. Anyways, and then I also have Magnolia Park's Into the Dark. This is the 5th book in the Magnolia Park's Daisy Hates series, and it's the only one that I have not read, and I really need to get to it. I'm just really not emotionally ready for that kind of pain. You get what I'm saying? But we're gonna check to see who ended up winning, because the polls have officially closed. This one actually was the closest one. So Daydream ended up winning with 6,782 votes to 6,424 votes, which is insane. So I will be reading Daydream this week. I really haven't heard anything about what kind of tropes are in here or anything like that. I just know that it's Henry's book, and that's really all of the clarification that I need, because it's Henry. I'm really excited about it though. This is also just such a cute color. This is probably my favorite color scheme that Hannah Grace has done with all of her Maple Hill series. Then we'll do the thriller category next. I had The Push by Ashley Audrain, and I had Sometimes I Lie by Alice Feeney. I am really hoping that Sometimes I Lie wins, because I've been wanting to get into another Alice Feeney book since I read Rock, Paper, Scissors earlier in this summer. I haven't picked one up. I literally own, I think 3 other books of hers, and I just haven't picked any of them up. The Push, everybody that I know and trust that has read this book has either not liked it or has said this book is deeply scarring, and those do tend to be my favorite kind of thrillers, because there's just there's so much of an emotional, I don't know what word I'm looking for, there's just more emotions that go behind it, and I love that because it keeps me more invested. So I'm kind of hoping, I don't know, I'd be okay with either one. Obviously I picked 2 books that I would be okay with. Sometimes I Lie ended up winning. This one was really close too. It was a 59-41 split. Sometimes I Lie got 6,117 votes, and The Push got 4,218 votes. So I'm excited. We'll be getting into an Alice Feeney book. Again, I have no idea what it's about. I don't want to know. I just read the first 2 sentences. It says Amber Reynolds wakes up in a hospital. She can't move. She can't speak. She can't open her eyes. She can hear everyone around her, but they have no idea. Sounds really interesting. I'm excited about it. Then the next 2 we had were fantasy. I have The Ashes and the Star-Cursed King by Carissa Broadbent. That went up against The Prison Healer by Lynette Noni. While I'm super excited about both of these books, I'm really hoping that The Prison Healer won, because I've been wanting an excuse to start this trilogy for so freaking long. I haven't picked it up. I am actually let's see, a little under halfway into, I'm 188 pages into Ashes and the Star-Cursed King, which is partially why I put it on this list, was because I needed to finish it. I will probably be restarting it, because I started this book over a year ago, and I genuinely have no recollection of what I read other than one scene. That was it. So I will be restarting this if it does win. Yeah, that's about what I expected. Ashes and the Star-Cursed King won 62% to 38%. So we had 8,069 votes for Ashes and the Star-Cursed King and 4,957 for The Prison Healer. It surprises me, and it doesn't. I was kind of expecting The Prison Healer to win. I wasn't sure if people were still riding for Ashes and the Star-Cursed King, but I am excited to get into it. I will still be reading the Prison Healer series, so Maybe I'll do like a part 2 or a follow-up, like reading The Losers, but like I will be reading it, don't you worry. And last but not least, we had Zodiac Academy, The Awakening, and From Blood and Ash by Jennifer L. Armentrout. I picked these 2 books because I knew that I had a ton of people requesting for me to read it and like give my opinions and share my thoughts and stuff. I really don't have a preference either way. I wasn't planning on getting to either of these like this week had it not been for this video, so we're gonna see what y'all picked. I really have less than no clue what either of these books are about either. Listen, so sorry. I just heard that people like them. I have the audiobook for From Blood and Ash, and I'm sure the Zodiac Academy series is on Kindle Unlimited. I think From Blood and Ash is on Kindle Unlimited too, if I'm not mistaken. Or I know I at least have the Kindle version of the book. So either way, like I'm set, but I don't know, I don't really have any strong thoughts about it. Oh, interesting. From Blood and Ash won 54% to 46%. That's actually really surprising. But I guess we're starting From Blood and Ash, and we'll see if I like it. I don't know. I will say I do know that I love JLA's writing because I've read her books before. Like I used to read her YA books whenever I was younger, and I've never read an adult book by her, so I am kind of excited to see how I like her writing now. I'm sure it's gotten better with time. So these are the books that my Instagram picked out for me to read. I will obviously be filming a reading vlog for these. You guys will get all of my thoughts and opinions for that there, but I just wanted to do that on here with y'all. I do have some books that I would like to read for myself, just because I'm such in a fantasy mood, and we have some new releases coming out, so I would like to reread some books and get some stuff read. But I did first want to go over my Patreon book club books of the month. The first one is Lights Out. I don't know, I can't remember the author's name. I don't even own Lights Out. I need to go and get it. But that's the first book. I know it's like a dark kind of like Butcher and Blackbird-esque romance, and I did actually like Butcher and Blackbird, so I'm hoping that I like it. But then somebody also said that it was like Little Stranger. And if that's the case, I don't know if this book is going to be my vibe, but I guess we're going to try it and see. Then we also got The God of the Woods by Liz Moore, ended up being our second place winner for January. So I'm really excited to get into this book because I've been wanting to read it for so freaking long, literally since I got it. And this was the July book of the month, so I've literally had this book since July. I know it's like rich people, like summer camp vibe, which I absolutely love. Should I probably be reading this book during the summer? Sure. It's still 80 degrees here in South Texas, so honestly, it's summer, okay? Then we're gonna go through these kind of quickly because I always hate doing TBR videos because I don't do any research into what the books are about before talking about them, and I never do the research before reading them either, so I really just be going into books blind. I feel like I'm beating a dead horse at this point, but like, you guys get it. The girls who get it, get it. Anyways, I really want to reread Fourth Wing and read Iron Flame because Onyx Storm comes out January 21st, or at least that's when I'm getting my Amazon pre-order. So I want to reread Fourth Wing because I read it last year whenever it was like making its rounds in like June or July, something like that. And it's been a minute since I've actually like picked it up. So I would like to read it, get more of Xaden, and then finally actually get into Iron Flame because I literally said I was going to read it last year. Did I do that? No. No, of course not. Or read it whenever it was supposed to come out. I think it did come out last year. Didn't Onyx Storm come out around like November of last year? Yeah, girl didn't read that. If you have not read, or if you don't know what these books are about, first of all, that's insane. It's Divergent meets Dragons. Basically, is the best way to describe this. Our main character, she wants to be a dragon rider, or she does not want to be a dragon rider. She wants to be like a librarian, basically, but her mom is a super famous like dragon rider warrior person. And she's like, my daughter is not going to be a librarian. You are going to go to Dragon Rider School. And she ends up sending her daughter to Dragon Rider School, where she meets Xaden. And I'm excited about it. I am really excited to get back into those books, to be so honest with you. Speaking of Alice Feeney, I put this book on this list, but I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get to it just because of the amount of books that I have on this list. But it's His and Hers by Alice Feeney. I just picked this up from Barnes like last week or something like that. And it says there are two sides to every story, yours and mine, ours and theirs, his and hers, which means someone is always lying. And that was it for me. That's all I needed. I've heard a lot of people say that this is like one of their favorite books that she has written, so hopefully I end up enjoying it. I'm not going to think too deeply into it though. Okay, I'm pulling this out, but I also don't know where the other two. This is just a fill-in. Okay, it's Kingdom of Ash by Sarah J. Maas. I would like to finally finish Throne of Glass because I've talked about it. I'm still in the middle of the tandem read, which is Empire of Storms and Tower of Dawn, and I want to go and get this version because I have the original copies of the Throne of Glass series, like the full series. I have them in their original paperback copies, and I don't want to ruin them, and I know I'm going to want to annotate those books, so I want to go get like the new version so I can mess these up and not worry about the old, like actual pretty, because what is this? I hate these covers, to be so honest with you. They're nasty, and I want to finish out Throne of Glass is the point of all this. If you have not started Throne of Glass, literally, where have you been? Hey babes, where have you been? What have you been doing? Miss Selena Sardothian, I don't know how y'all say it, but I say Sardothian. Anyways, Miss Selena deserves better than that. She deserves your full and undivided attention. Then, this is honestly a pipe dream because of how long this book is, but The Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson. I've been itching to get into another Brandon Sanderson book because I've read Mistborn before. I loved that trilogy. I need to read the second era of that trilogy, but I really want to get into The Way of Kings because I've heard so many people talking about it. I have the audiobook already. It's just such a thick book, and it makes me so terrified to want to read it, but I am excited to get into it. So hopefully that's this month. Then we have White Horse Black Knights by Evie Marceau. I hope I'm saying her name right. Sorry, Evie, if I'm not. I know that this is about like fae. We still worship the sleeping fae, though their magic only remains within a few of us. I know it's something to do with fae. It's giving, I can't say that, that's a spoiler. I just heard that it was like amazing. This is one of those books that was like making their rounds on TikTok last year as well. Apparently, I think there's an audiobook too, but it's The God-Kissed Bride, book 1. I think there's only 2 books. It's a duet. I'm excited about it. Then, okay, listen, I get it. I've been talking about wanting to read this book for months now. I have the audiobook and the Kindle book both loaded up. I'm just so scared to not like it. And the second book of this like series comes out this year, and I need to read this before that happens. So I'm putting it on this list. I need y'all to hold me accountable. If y'all see me reading books that are not on this list, you have permission to yell at me, but don't yell at me too loud, because I'll yell back. We have Red Rising by Pierce Brown. I've just been wanting to figure out what this series is about, quite honestly. I know it's like a sci-fi more than it is fantasy, but those two things are very synonymous in my head because none of it is real. I guess sci-fi could be real. I don't know, I guess it depends on like how sci-fi it gets. I've just heard so much about Darrow, the MMC in this book, and it really makes me want to start this book like yesterday. And I've heard of a couple of things. Honestly, don't know how many books are in this series though, because originally I thought it was a trilogy, and then it turns out that there was like 6 more books added. So that's kind of intimidating. I don't know why we did that. Also, y'all are gonna have to let me know if I have this right. I could look it up, but I'm entirely too lazy for that. So I have Kingdom of the Cursed here by Carrie Maniscalco. I read Kingdom of the Wicked last year, like last November or something like that. And I don't know if this is the second one. I'm pretty sure Kingdom of the Cursed is the second one and Kingdom of the Feared is the third one. But I just know that this book follows, what's her name? The first book follows Amelia, and she ends up like meeting this Prince of Hell. It wasn't my favorite book, but I also was not in the mood for a fantasy whenever I read the first book. So I'm hoping that like now that I am, I'll end up liking this series more, because I know so many people love this book. And honestly, the only reason why I want to read it is because I want to get to Throne of the Fallen by Carrie Maniscalco, which I think is like a prequel. Somebody said it was like Bridgerton vibes, but like make it dark Bridgerton, something like that. So I'm excited to finally finish this trilogy so that way I can get into that, because I really want to start Throne of the Fallen. And then we have Phantasma by Kaylee Smith. Again, I've been talking about wanting to read this book for months now, and I just have never gotten to it. It's something about entering Phantasma, and our main character, her mother ends up getting like brutally, I know her mother is like brutally murdered. Ooh. Last but not least, Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. I want to know why everybody's talking about this book so much. I know this is like found family kind of vibes, like heist situation. I did not like the original trilogy that this like spun out of, which was, what is it called? Oh my gosh, I'm brain farting, but like y'all know what I'm talking about. There's a Netflix series about it. I loved the first one, and I did not like Siege and Storm, Ruin and Rising. What's the first one? Y'all know what I'm talking about. I'll put a picture of it because I cannot think about it right now. But this, oh my gosh, it's literally Shadow and Bone. It was literally on the back of the book. I would very much like to get to this book at some point or another. I do feel like I'm gonna end up enjoying it because I loved the writing of Shadow and Bone. I just hated everything else about Siege and Storm. So hopefully it makes up for that. Those are all the books that I would like to read in the month of January. I'm really hoping I can get it done, just because that now that like Bookmas is almost over. I'll have more time to actually like sit down and read, which I'm super excited about. And I'm just really excited to like explore these new fantasy books that are coming out, because like I said, I feel like it's been so long since I've actually like have wanted to sit down and read fantasy books. So now that I am kind of in that mood, I'm excited to like branch out and see what has come out, because I know a lot of good fantasies have come out since then. So I'm super excited about that. Let me know what is on your January TBR. I want to know, what books are you most excited about? Are you planning on reading Onyx Storm when it comes out? And if that's the case, twinsy. Love you guys so much. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys have such a good day, have such a good new year. I don't know when this video is coming out tomorrow, I think. Yeah, so not quite New Year's yet, but I'll just say anyways, I hope you had a Merry Christmas, and I hope you had a wonderful New Year. If you guys want to find my face on any other place on the internet, just go ahead and check all the links in the description. Again, I did come out with some bookish merch, so if you guys would like to take a look at that, as always, all you're gonna do is just like go down there, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.